everyone, this is Pugh Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're quickly going to talk about the recent trailers for both Captain America Brave New World and the Thunderbolts, in very much the concluding stages of Marvel's Phase 5, and talk about really which trailer has me more excited. Now there possibly could be spoilers here for all of the Marvel movies and Disney Plus shows, certainly within Phases 4 and 5, so just beware when going into this overall video. Now recently at Marvel's D23 presentation in Brazil, recent trailers for both movies dropped. Of course, the first movie being released will be Captain America Brave New World, which drops on February the 14th, 2025. And also we have then Thunderbolts coming later on May the 2nd of 2025. Now we have had trailers for both movies previously, and when I watched both, I was probably more invested in Captain America Brave New World, and I'll probably share that sentiment still after watching these recent trailers. And after seeing the second trailer for Captain America, I overall think it was quite strong. Again, very explosive, very exciting stunts and sequences. Again, we're getting those same overtones as what we got with Winter Soldier. Captain America, the second movie within the franchise, and still one of the best entries within the entire MCU. All of the action looks very lean and exciting. We of course had many shots of Sam Wilson as the Captain America. We saw him in the original blue version of the costume, and then later on we had sequences where he's flying mid-air and we see him doing the typical superhero landing in a more white aesthetic in terms of the costume. Some of the shots look very good. Others look a bit too overly complicated, where he's got the wings and also carrying the shield. We also saw the nanotech style helmet, as well as what we've seen a lot, particularly within Phase 5 of the likes of Ant-Man as well. But I think in motion it looks quite fine, and Anthony Mackie still looks very good as Sam Wilson. We of course have the major inclusion of Harrison Ford as President Ross. We will see as well the big selling point of this trailer was his transformation into the Red Hulk. And to be honest, I'm not as excited about that. I still don't understand why we need to see Red Hulk, other than it gives audiences much more Hulk action, because we're not seeing any more of that, and certainly within the movies in terms of the Mark Ruffalo version. So that's what I think it is. It feels more like a token gesture just to give people more involvement in terms of a Hulk character. I've always been inclined to believe there is only one definitive Hulk, which is of course the Bruce Banner version. When you have all of these alternate versions, it does take away the uniqueness of the original incarnation. So I'm not as excited in terms of the Red Hulk, and obviously I don't believe he will be the main antagonist. That will be the character that's played by Giancarlo Esposito. We do of course will have some involvement of Samuel Stearns, played by Tim Blake Nelson, who of course was go on to become the leader, who is really the main antagonist of the Incredible Hulk. We saw his inclusion way back with the Ed Norton sequel from 2008, so it will be interesting to see his overall interaction. And will we see some sort of cameo from Ruffalo's version? Will they save that later on throughout maybe the end credit sequence? We'll wait and see overall. But I think in terms of this trailer, again, it was very strong. I did like the mixing in of the titles. They had that kind of fading, flickering light about them, and that's a nod clearly towards the 70s style political conspiracy thrillers that we saw of that era. That is much more of a typical element as what we saw with Winter Soldier, that more political and government subject matter. It really added that real world contemporary intelligence to that film, and I believe Captain America Brave New World is also going to follow suit. We again saw the Asai character that we were introduced to originally in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. We see from the trailer here that he is being controlled, mind controlled somehow, to try and assassinate the president, and then that's when we later on see the president will probably take some sort of serum, maybe similar to what we saw with the Abomination and the character played by Tim Roth, Bronsky. Remember, he took some sort of serum which turned him into the Abomination. So a very strong trailer, but I do fear more so for Captain America Brave New World. We know the budgets for these movies are already high. There are various rumours going around that the budget has escalated up to north of 300 million from all of the various reshoots. And there's always been a certain antagonism towards this film because, of course, it's been seen more that Sam Wilson is taking over the mantle from the original Steve Rogers Captain America, rather than being his own individual character of the Falcon. And I do share that sentiment as well. I think this would have served far better if it was Falcon in his own original iteration, rather than picking up the mantle or indeed the shield from Steve Rogers. Whether Sam Wilson's Falcon is good enough to carry an entire movie on his own, we will overall wait and see. But I do have high hopes in terms of the overall quality of this movie. I'm just not sure that it's going to be anywhere near the big box office success that Marvel certainly will need it to overall produce. So we then look at the Thunderbolts, and it's a really strange one, this one, because again, I'm not sure really why we're getting this film. We know the overall setup, that it really is the overall outsiders. In terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we of course have the team headlined by Yelena Believer, played by Florence Pugh, who we all know from the Black Widow films. We of course have the returning Bucky Barnes, who has been a well-established character from all of the Captain America movies, as well as the Falcon and Winter Soldier. We have the Red Guardian appearing as well from the Black Widow film, as well as Ghost, I believe, from the Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel, as well as the alternate Captain America played by Wyatt Russell, again from Falcon and Winter Soldier. And this is clearly the much more ragtag, stripped down, more realistic type of action. And many people have compared it to the Suicide Squad from DC. And yes, it is that. Everything from the more muted colours, the more greyish aesthetic, the more kind of traditional style of action, it all does scream Suicide Squad in general. And whilst I do like some of the actors that are playing these characters, my biggest query with this film is, what exactly is it about? Why exactly should we care about this squad of team? Who are they hunting exactly? What are they after? Who is the main villain? Who is the main antagonist? Now, of course, I'm not asking that the trailer completely spoils the entire film, but I think it does need a bigger hook in terms of the overall story. Whilst, yes, we do have a rough idea of who these characters are because we've been invested largely within the MCU, for any more casual viewers, do any of these characters really grab your attention? What's the spark or the charisma or the dynamic between the team? I'm really not sure it's strong enough to really grab enough of that casual audience to go and watch this overall film. And again, we just ask the question once more, why exactly do we need to wonder about the Thunderbolts and who they are and the overall team? And with this being the final entry of Marvel's Phase 5, we do wonder how overall significant it will be. Of course, we understand that the third entry in terms of the MCU movies within 2025 will be the Fantastic Four First Steps, and that will be the opening stage of Marvel's Phase 6, which of course will later on lead down the line in terms of the Avengers movies, Doomsday and Secret Wars, and we'll see the much hyped return of Robert Downey Jr., this time playing Doctor Doom. So again, as a trailer, it was fine. What we saw from the second film, a bit overlong. Again, they're going to mix the far more gritty action with the much more quips and one-liners. Red Guardian is going to be the main focus in terms of the overall humour. But again, I'm just not sure what exactly this film is or why exactly we should be hyped over it. And again, I'm not exactly confident as to how big overall a box office success it will be when it releases a couple of months after Captain America. So there's my overall thoughts and feelings on both the recent trailers of both Captain America Brave New World and also the Thunderbolts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any other further movies, television series, or any other topics within the pop entertainment and culture scene that you'd like to see me cover within the channel, drop me a suggestion within the comments and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on that subject matter within the future. Please also hit like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves and I will see you very, very soon.